A positive and wonderful day. Hi, I'm Meryl. I have been working for True Porch Homes for 2 months now. It has been a fast paced environment for me, and I had to adjust and adapt. Just like a tropical tree planted in a temperate area, or like an orphan bear seeking for parents' love, shelter, and food to survive. I'm really glad and thankful that I found these survival kits metaphorically and literally in some ways at True Porch Homes. One of their core values taught me to make better or maybe the best judgment when it comes to decision making in all aspects of the company. Being detail oriented is a skill set that can be nurtured over time. This enables a person to spot or be attentive to minor details. These minor details would eventually have a bigger impact relative to decision making. Just like a drop of water on a river that brings about a ripple, every little piece of information could contribute as one factor or data point to evaluate the situation at hand. Asking more probing questions in order to have a specific idea of what the guests are telling helps me to assess and fulfill our decision making matrices, one of which is to make our guests feel good. For example, the guest wants to have early check in since they will be arriving earlier. The preferred time was not included in their request and needs to be confirmed. Coordinating with the cleaner and updating their lockbox codes for all the doors for their keyless check-in are all part of the general process in order to ensure high quality of hospitality. Consequently, in general, the guest will leave a positive review and a 5-star rating that will drive more bookings and yield increased cash flow and long-term asset value. Detail oriented.
Hi everyone, my name is Laika and I am an operations analyst here at Tree Homes. So today we are going to talk about one of our core values, which is being detail oriented. So I think that being detail oriented means that you are able to pay close attention and notice minor details such as catching mistakes, errors, or changes before they actually become a problem for you or for the organization. One situation that happened to us quite recently is getting a basement permit. So one permit that we need is a septic tank permit before we get the basement permit for one of our properties. So we submitted everything and stuff like that. And then the septic tank permit was sent back to us just because we were not able to specify that there are two bathrooms in the basement. So, I didn't put two before the bathrooms, the word bathrooms. So they needed I had to resubmit that application to the septic tank permit people. So I had to fill it out and stuff like that and send it back in. So that set us back for like 3 to 4 days. So you see how critical it is to pay attention to the small details. So I think this was a clear example of how details drive perfection. If we only had taken a minute or two to review the form or actually call the basement permit people to ask them what they needed to be specified in the septic tank permit so that the process could have gone way smoother and more efficient. So I guess, here at TPH, they taught me to always make sure that you be more efficient in the task that you are doing. And in order to do this, you have to get things right the first time. So again, for this to be possible to get it right the first time, you have to pay close attention to details because there will always be things going on here at TPH, which is fun because no 2 days are the same. There's like less routine tasks, so it's always an exciting and a challenging day for everyone. So making sure that you are efficient in your day-to-day task, in your day-to-day job, and the responsibilities that you have in the organization would help you become more efficient in the job. It will save your time and your energy, and you would have the opportunity to focus on more trivial things such as the learning aspect here at TPH, and of course, your other tasks as well. So yeah, I think that the being detail oriented is a very important trait that I have also learned here at TPH, and hopefully you get that as well.
Detail-oriented. For us, every detail is very important because it is very essential for the best results. Just like on research, every detail is important because it can affect the results of the decisions. Being detail-oriented will also help you figure out problems, and knowing the root cause will help you solve the problems that you have. One example could be the issues in our Airbnb. That one of our properties get delisted due to neighbors' report. We did gather all the details that will help our case, like screenshots, video footage, timestamps, with a detailed summary of our site. We include every important detail, so the email response to the Airbnb questions, and make sure that everything is connected and no details that may affect our site. With that, we were able to bring back our property and solve the problem. Another example is the cleaners checklist photos. Every week, we check each photo that our cleaners upload after they clean or every turnover. And if there's even small details that need correction, we make sure to take note of that and mention it to our cleaners to correct it and make it better because we want to create magic for our guests. Also, on our screening on the Airbnb guests, we also always check all the possible data points like reviews, age range, reasons for booking, nightly rate, and even the grammar. And we also do profiling, like searching their names online if possible to make sure that the guest will be good for us and not just accept all the increase that comes. We always make sure and weigh in all the data points to our DMN or decision-making measures to get the best possible results.
Detail-oriented. Detail-oriented means going the extra mile to find more information to help us make a better decision. We can't control our outcome, but we can control what we can find out information, and hopefully that helps us make a better decision. A couple years ago, we approved a tenant without doing adequate due diligence. We pulled the credit as well as the background check, but we didn't spend a lot of time going through and vetting the landlord reference and looking at social media to try and find out about whether this person would be a good fit for this home. Because we didn't have detail-oriented nature, and I take full responsibility for that, this tenant ended up being a problem tenant, and she wasn't able to pay rent for a long time. We would have to go to court to try and collect from her. So a mistake on the front end, we were vetting the tenant, created a lot of problems on the back end when she was actually in the house. So we try to prevent problems from happening in the first place by having attention to detail and focusing on things that we can control in order to have successful outcomes in the future.